I think the first question really is why, what we were trying to do with Chromebooks. Because we started, you probably saw the initiatives and all the TV shows, the newspapers, every time a district went to a one-to-one program. So we were looking at that because one of the things we want to do is have equity across our district, and we wanted all of our students to be able to have access. But as I started looking at those programs, the one thing I noticed is that they had a tremendous maintenance bill every year and a replacement bill because the kids, I called it the backpack problem. The students would put the Chromebooks in their backpacks, throw them around, they get broken, the keys would get lost because they're going back and forth from school. So we decided that we wanted to try something different, where we had Chromebooks in every single classroom, just like we used to have textbooks in every single classroom. When you have 36 students coming into a classroom all grabbing a textbook, it turns into kind of a jumbled mess. So we had Chromebook, the traditional Chromebook carts. We had the top loaders, we had the side loaders, and they worked. Then I happened to be at another district and I saw one of the PowerGistic towers. And I went, hey, that thing looks kind of cool. So just that alone, it had the color coding on it. And we did an exercise and we got the Chromebooks and I just went, that seemed a little easier, but I wasn't sure. So we decked out about 5 classrooms, 2 towers in each classroom with the towers. So what I did is I took my iPhone and I got my stopwatch out on my iPhone and said, let me see what the transition time is between a traditional cart, was a top loader and a side loader, and one of these towers. And just from the times that just clicking the watch, watching the kids come in, grab a Chromebook, sit down, open it, and get logged in was 40% faster with the tower than it was for one of the carts. It was easier for the kids to reach around and grab it from the tower. So that was the first thing that I really liked about the towers. Because you take a look, 40% time. So if it takes traditionally 5 minutes, well, now it took 2.5 minutes for the kids to transition. You multiply that times 6 periods in one day, multiply it by 100 classrooms. Look how much extra educational time you're getting just because a logistical thing like grabbing a Chromebook. And the second thing I liked was the colors. And the reason I liked the colors is because it was very easy for a teacher to look over and notice that slot number 3, red, was empty. And then I saw some cool things that the teachers were doing in our classrooms. You'd go on a desk and they'd have stickers on top of the desk. There'd be 5 red, labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blue, labeled 4, 5, 6, 7. And what it is the kids knew that was their Chromebook in their slot. And again, it was easy for the teacher to look over and go, hey, Johnny, slot 4, blue, is empty. You need to bring your Chromebook back. So that really helped with that. Every classroom in our district has them. We have anywhere from 36 to 40 Chromebooks in the towers, and they've worked. And so far, we've had zero breakage, and our maintenance fees for the Chromebooks, it's not at zero. We just still have breakage, and we still have missing Chromebooks, but it's a lot lower than most other districts. Yeah, we use it just like we used to use tradition. We used to have textbook in every classroom. Same thing. You use a textbook in that classroom, you put it back on the shelf, and you walk out. So you do the same thing with the Chromebooks. So do not take them between classes. Um, and again, it's, the main reason for that is just the maintenance cost. And plus, you have a set in every classroom. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal what we've been able to accomplish by doing that. They don't walk anywhere. And that's why we'd rather have them mounted on the wall. But most of the classrooms we have, they're mounted away from the entrance door. A couple things you have to consider. Number one, you have to have a power source. And we have campuses that are 70 years old, and we have this campus here is 17 years old. So there's a big difference of how much electricity is. So we have to look, where's electricity? And again, we wanted them away from the front door or the entryway for that classroom. And again, that's just a school of hard knocks and things that we've learned over the years where, I don't want to be that teacher getting yelled at by the textbook clerk. Yeah, so this is an equity issue. So we have kids on one side of town where their parents work in Hollywood. They're not the actors or producers, but they do all the stuff in the background, the cameramen, the grips, stagecraft. So they do very well in that end of town. Well, we have the other school on the other side of the valley where we still have migrant students. So in order to have equity, for number one is that any digital resources we have, every student in our district has access, regardless of which school that they attend. So what we do is we have a Chromebook checkout program. So in our libraries, they can actually go in and check a Chromebook out, take it home, and then it stays home with them for the entire year. If they do not have Wi-Fi at home, because a lot of our students still do not, we actually provide them a hotspot to take home with them. And one of the things we were still able to do is that if there's two students in one household, we do not make them share a hotspot. We do not make them share a Chromebook. They both get their own devices. Yeah, the investment we've made is, I guess, it makes a big difference. And again, equity is a big part of that. So no student can has to do without in our district just because they can or cannot afford something at home. Yeah, absolutely. Gary Allen is the best tech director in the United States. If you doubt him, just ask me. Never lose your sense of humor and remember why we do what we do. We do it so that the students we have now can out there and be successful in life. Because once we retire, we need them successful.